Hey guys, Baumhart here. So what I'm going to be doing today is making a sheath for my fur trade era coil spring knife. I've got some leather here. This is leather that I bought from a Michael's store. They call it leather remnant bags, and it just has scrap pieces of leather like this. So it's a great way to find a piece of leather that'll fit whatever project you got. 'Cause I think the whole bag of leather cost like $7, and you know, I've got all kinds of little odds and ends like this that I can use. So the first step is figuring out the pattern for the sheath. So I like to use cardboard because it's a little stiffer than paper. It's a better representation of what the thickness of the leather is going to be. And this is going to be a pouch style of sheath, and so this is already kind of a center line. So basically, if that center line, I'm going to kind of sketch out where it needs to be, and I got to leave enough room for the stitches. So better to have it be too big at first than too small, but something like that is what I'm going for here. So I think I need more material on this end here. So here's the center line of where the sheath is going to be, and I think what might be a good idea is to kind of have this flare out a bit. So from about here, you kind of have that come out like that. So before I sew the sheath up together, I got to put the belt loops on, and so out of my one piece of scrap here, since that kind of already lines up nicely already, I'm going to use this as the first belt loop. And I'll sew that into there, and then this will get sewed up right about there. There you go, something like that. And then you'll be able to put when you wear it on your belt, you could actually put the belt, put your pants in between these two loops here if you so choose. We'll draw it out, drill the holes, and sew it in there. Okay, so I got my belt loops on there. Now it's time to sew the thing together. Before I do that, I'm actually going to make a welt, which is a piece of leather that'll go in between the two halves here. And so I've got a piece of black scrap leather, and so I'm going to cut this out, draw out the holes, and then fit that into place, and then sew it all up together. So that'll fit in there just like that. So now I can sew that all up. I have a nice little welt right there. So for the amount of cord that I'm going to use, I need at least double the length, and I'm just going to go an extra 3 times just to be safe. I'm just going to do this outside row of holes. So I have 2 layers of stitches, hopefully holding this thing together. Now I'm going to go back through and do this second layer of holes. I went through with a drill bit and enlarged all these since it was pretty tough to get the needle through that second patch there, so hopefully this works out a little bit better. I'm just going to start the needle in between my layers here. Tough to find. There we go. I can tell that's already a lot easier to work through, but when I go through with that second pass, it won't be as difficult as it was before. So I'm about to run out of thread here, so I'm actually just going to tie it off to this other stitch right here. So leather work like this can be pretty tough on needles. As you can see, I just broke my old sail needle here, but luckily I do have a spare. But that's why I like to draw out the holes through the leather instead of trying to use like an awl or something like that. So I'll just pick up where we left off. Just kind of back and forth motion like this. It's real easy to break the eye like that, and I've definitely broken my fair share of needles, so I am on the search for higher quality sail needles. but that last one did serve me for many a year. Okay, so now I've gotten to the top of the sheath, and I'm just gonna work my way back down, doing the double stitch, and hopefully I'll have enough to finish it off. Fingers crossed. Alright, there we go. Looks like I had enough thread to finish that off, so now I'm just going to tie this off to the side here. And now with using the bank line like this, you know, heaven forbid you're in a survival situation and you need some cordage, your knife is still your, you know, one tool option, because here in the sheath you've got quite a bit of bank line that you can use. So you just gotta cut it off here and unsew it. Two half hitches in there, so I'll just trim this down and fuse it off. Bank line melts easy, and then use the pliers to kind of just fuse all that melted stuff together. Alright, now that I got the sheath stitched up, I'm going to trim the extra leather I have sticking out of the welt here. And I just sharpened up my more knife, so hopefully I get some nice clean cuts. I really want to take my time with this, because if I screw it up, I'll probably have to make a new sheath. And I'm also going to kind of go over the fine edges of the leather itself and try to neaten up some of that, because the next thing is I'm going to burnish it. So now to burnish the edge of the sheath here, I made a burnishing wheel out of a birch branch. So birch was it's a pretty soft wood, so I was able to carve this out, drill this out real easy, and get this onto my bench grinder here, and then cut a little groove in there. And so now I've got some paraffin wax, and what I'll do with this is sort of melt it onto the edge of the sheath, and then run the sheath in the groove of the burnishing wheel there. So let's give it a go. Alright, so I got that good and waxed up now, so let's give it a whirl. So there you go, that's what that's looking like, but you can see the difference right here between where the wax kind of got melted in and where it wasn't, where it's still pretty light there. Alright, so there you go. That's looking good now. So that friction just warms up that wax and just melts into the end grain of that leather. It gives it that sort of wet appearance. So now the next thing to do is just treat the outside of this sheath with a leather conditioner. So for the leather conditioner, I've got some stuff made by it's made by Red Wing Shoes, but this is supposed to be a natural blend of pine pitch, mink oil, and beeswax. So we'll see how it looks on the knife. I actually got this for my boots, but I figured why not put it on a knife sheath as well. So for a hunting knife, I figured this would be a appropriate thing to put on here. I'm just going to let the wax soak in there, but I like the way that looks. I just sort of worked that into all the stitches and everything like that, so hopefully it'll help keep this thing waterproof. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, be more Viking.